Would you like to learn about context-aware identity and access management? If so, this video is for you. Hi, my name's Mike Gibbs. I'm an architect with about 25 years experience in enterprise architecture, security architecture, network architecture, and cloud architecture. And today we're going to talk about context-aware IAM, or identity and access management. We'll talk about what is context-aware identity and access management. We'll talk about how context-aware identity and access management works. We'll talk about how context-aware identity and access management enhances security. And then I'll walk you through two examples of context-aware identity and access management in action, and you can see how it will increase security. So before I talk about context-aware IAM, I just want to level set everybody on what is identity and access management. Identity and access management is simply determining who you are before you access the systems, making sure you're a legitimate user or a legitimate system, which is called authentication. Determining what you're allowed to access, which is called authorization, and accounting, which is determining what you've done. So who are you? What are you allowed to do? And what have you done? That is traditional identity and access management. It's looking at those factors. And typically, in order to prove yourself, you would use, say, a username, or you would use a password, or something to that effect. Now, that's good, but the goal of context-aware IAM is to be better. We don't want to just look at usernames or passwords or something simple like that. We want to be able to look at the user's behavior, where the user is coming from, what kind of device the user is on, where they're at on the network, and even time of day. So by being able to look at more factors to determine who we let on our systems and what they're even allowed to do, or if we let them on our systems in the first place, now we can potentially get to greater security. So how is it that context-aware IAM is typically working? Generally speaking, our IAM systems are gathering login information. They're looking at the devices, their IP addresses, which tells us typically which part of the world they're in, what time of the day it is, as well as the user's behavior. Now, these systems are sitting behind the sidelines, and they typically have some kind of AI or machine learning in them that's going to be monitoring the systems and determine, do these patterns of behavior look normal? And then these context-aware IAM systems can make determinations. So if something looks funny, maybe issue this person a multi-factor authentication challenge, or deny them access, period, because it's a user where they're not where they're supposed to be, or something doesn't feel right. So we can adjust and get additional authentications of the users to prove who they are. But really what's going on is we're monitoring and we're making our systems much more adaptive to threats as they're occurring. So as you can see, by being able to look at more factors, we have the decision to be more granular in our security. We can reduce fraud. We can reduce account takeovers. We can reduce a lot. And typically speaking, context-aware is a significant part of zero trust architectures. So let's give an example of an environment where, for example, we could use context-aware. So here's an example. In this particular example, we have a CEO, and she always accesses the systems from either her Mac or her iPad. Now, the CEO, she's always in one of the company's 50 office locations. She's in one of her 10 residences. She's either in her airplane that has a permanent static IP address, or she has a satellite internet device that she takes with her everywhere, and that's the IP address that she uses going everywhere, and that way the company knows where she's coming from. Now, in this particular case, if her Mac tries to log into the systems, it's great. We're expecting it, and we allow it. But what if out of nowhere this Windows machine comes in, and our CEO only has a Mac and she has an iPad, and she always uses those, plus comes in from one of the IP addresses we know? But out of nowhere, we've got this Windows user, and the Windows user's claiming to be the CEO, and the Windows user somehow has the CEO's username and password. But the Windows system now tries to log on the company's systems. Now, thankfully, these companies' systems are context aware, their identity and access management, and says, wait a second, the CEO, she comes in on a Mac or an iPad, and this is not one of them. This is not one of the CEO's IP addresses. So there's two options that can occur here. This request can be 100% denied, and it can notify the system's logs, and the Windows user might not be allowed in. Or we can use a further authentication. So if we expect the CEO to be coming from her Mac or iPad, and all of a sudden we've got the CEO and their passphrase coming in from a Windows computer, maybe we send them an additional multi-factor authentication challenge, and then maybe the user can provide it and prove they are who they claim to be. Or maybe we just block them, but the point is we're able to look for more things than just they say the username or password or username and passphrase. Let's talk about another environment where this could also make a difference. So let's say in this particular environment, we have a campus and we have a cloud. And the way it's been set up is users that are in the campus can take their either private line or VPN and manage the systems in the cloud. But obviously the firewalls and the access control list, and of course the IAM systems are designed to allow users coming from 172.16.0.0/16 to be able to administer systems on the cloud. But now let's say this user 2345, and I just made up obviously these IP addresses, this IP address along the line, now tries to manage the systems in the cloud. Now they try to send the request. Now hopefully the cloud's not even open to allow this because it's been blocked by one of the firewalls or what have you. But let's just assume that somehow the request from 2.3.4.5 to configure some systems inside of our cloud VPC comes in. Well, of course, the new context-aware IAM can say you're just blocked, and hopefully our firewalls and IP systems would do it. Or potentially our context-aware IAM systems could say you are not where you're supposed to be. So I will allow you access to this systems after I give you a multi-factor authentication challenge, and you can access system 1, system 2, and system 3, but you can no longer manage anything in the cloud VPC. You'll get access to partial things. Or you can manage some stuff and not others. So the concept of the context aware here is to be looking at more things than just a username and a password or a username and passphrase, to be able to make more intelligent decisions based upon the context or all the factors that are actually going on in our dynamic security environment. So as you can see, the context aware gives us a lot more information than just the normal means to determine who the user is who they claim to be, and using static access things that are sitting there with the authorization. It's more adaptive, and anything we can do to make our systems more adaptive, whether they be next generation firewalls with behavior analysis, whether they be our identity and access management systems that are here, whether they be our SIEM systems that's correlating logs, for example, and telling us what's going on. The more information we have, the more information we collect, the more intelligence we can put into the systems, the more they can self-heal themselves and reduce our attack surface and even help thwart attacks when they're occurring. I hope you enjoyed this video on what is context-aware identity and access management. If you'd like to become a security architect or a cloud architect or an enterprise architect or an AI architect, join us on a completely free architecture webinar. The link is in the description of this video. We'll go over the architecture role. We'll go over what we do in these roles. We'll talk about the skills that you need to succeed. And of course, it'll be live on Zoom, so we're happy to answer any questions you may have about your technology career, and we'll do whatever we can on these free webinars to guide you and assist you. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell to be notified of new videos that will assist you in your solutions architect career, your cloud architect career, your enterprise architect career, your security architect career, your AI architect career, or any other architecture career. This is Mike Gibbs signing off for now, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. Take care.